Now in this young lady we see quite a balanced face, but obviously she has cherished the sun and we see some early signs of aging. I would probably categorize her as a glow gout between type 2 and 3. There are some lines in rest and there are lines in motion. Because when she does this movement she looks a little angry and she does not like this expression, so we are going to relax muscles in this area. Our goal is not to treat a line, our goal is to treat a face. We want to make her look more relaxed, and for this purpose we need to relax some muscles that have gotten into the habit of contracting by their own. This is the case in this area, this is the case in the eye area particularly. This is perfect for a Botox Vistabel treatment. On the other hand, we see areas that are sunken in a little bit, where volume is lacking, and this applies to the under eye area and also to the nasolabials, to the angles of the mouth, the so-called marionette lines, and also to these areas next to the chin and in front of the cheeks. So the combination of relaxing and filling with volume will give her a very nice and balanced result. Okay, now let's make a plan how we're going to treat her. Looking at the glabella first, we are going to treat in a pretty standard way, which will be treating the procerus in the center, and then we're going to treat the two corrugators, which we will do in this fashion. There's one here, and there's another and last injection point in this area. It used to be said that you should not go lateral to the mid-papillary line, but very often you will get some muscle pulling action from the side, and then you have to go back and treat there anyway, so I like to treat this in the first place. It's important though to stay 1 centimeter above the orbital rim, and the orbital rim is not the brow, it's the bone landmark, and if you're a centimeter above this you are not in danger of getting a lid ptosis. Lift up your brows a little bit, einmal heben. Okay, now the frontalis muscle, which lifts up the brows, is the only lifting muscle, so it's very precious to us. We should not paralyze or reduce this activity too much, but sometimes they don't, if it produces lines, we would want to treat it a little bit, and I would just to relax this area and to help her not even get into the habit of lifting, I would treat this just slightly, rather high up in this area. We will get diffusion, and this will help us to reduce most of the forehead activity. Okay, and there is another one approximately in this area. Now again, looking at what is lifting, because this is what we want to achieve in the face, we would add a little dot in this area, because taking down the activity of the orbicularis muscle that pulls down will help to lift the brow up a little bit. This is very important in helping to give her a nice and good appearance. Continuing this for the eye treatment, we would have a lateral spot here, we would have one going around this here, and then to help with the movement on the lower lid, I would add a little infraciliary dot here, just 1 or 2 units, which will help to relax the whole area very nicely and to open the eye somewhat. Okay, now looking at the other side, this is repeated pretty well. There's the first one in the lateral orbicular area is this one here, which should be 1 centimeter outside of the orbital rim to not treat any other structures that we do not want to treat. We go down here. We must be careful to not go too far below the orbital rim, to not get into the zygomaticus muscles, which lift the angle of the mouth, because in that situation a drooping angle of the mouth might result. We have this upper dot here, which takes away the depressing activity of orbicularis oculi. Now, one thing that is very nice to treat if you treat the glabella is to treat the nasalis muscle. Some people tend, when they use their glabella or when they are not able to use it anymore, they tend to increase the activity of nasalis muscle, which gives those little bunny lines. Just a little more. Okay, so those can, and in many cases should be treated simultaneously with glabella, and you would put 2 injections either side here. There are situations when we treat around the mouth. She does not really need this so much, but then there is something that can be very nicely be treated on the mandibular angle. Can you just do this movement for me for a moment? Okay, we see platysma strands pulling, and they contribute to those lines here and also to the mandibular arch that is not very well defined anymore. So in this area, I could use a dot and then do it again, and while we continue along platysma, we could even reduce this pulling, this downward pulling activity somewhat and help the lifting muscles to get a little more activity. That's good. Okay, there is a similar platysmal band on this other side here, which also continues into the smash system of the face and helps to, this is okay, to have this area not so well defined anymore. So this would be a spot where it's very nice to be treated. So far for relaxing and blocking depressors. Looking at where volume will be needed in this young lady, really she's very good in the glabella area. For some patients it's nice to combine in this area, to just put a little bit of filler here because it gives a much even better result, although she's young enough for a good result, but also it will enhance the result in the way of longevity. It will just last longer than using Vistabel on its own. So this is a nice combination. And then looking at those somewhat sunken circles under the eyes, this is a nice area for filling, can very easily be done, and I think we should provide this for her. On the other side, it would just be this area here. Let me see how we can mark this nicely. Okay. Of course, nasolabials and angles of the mouth may give somewhat a sad appearance if the lines go down. So this is a nice area to fill, and this is a standard area to fill. We are going to use this area. We are also going to fill the very fine lines, but also what is very important is to fill the angle of the mouth, this triangle here. This gives support to the mouth, to the angle of the mouth, and this will help to lift this area up. In some instances, a little Botox can help in this area, but we're not going to do this on her today. The other thing in this area is the dent between the chin and the cheek, and we are going to fill this as well. To do this here, it's the nasolabial fold that is going to be filled. It's the angle of the mouth, triangle, and it's this area down here that will be nice and give a better contour to the mandibular arch. All right, this is the plan for today.